Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn some practical sums. Listen, the first one is if the equations x square plus px plus q equal to 0 and x square plus p dash x plus q dash equal to 0 have a common root, then show that it must be equal to pq dash minus p dash q divided by q minus q dash or q minus q dash divided by p dash minus p, which is a required result. Answer is given in question paper itself. Okay, now if is a condition, the given condition is the two equations have a common root, which means let alpha be the common root. So let alpha be the common root means the alpha should satisfy both the equations. So that's the idea. First write the theory portion. Let alpha be the common root. Let alpha be the common root. Let alpha be the common root, which means alpha satisfies both the equations. That is x is replaced by alpha. So put x equal to alpha, which means alpha square plus p alpha plus q is equal to 0. Similarly, the second equation. Okay, substitute, take the first equation, substitute the x equal to alpha, we get x square, that means alpha square plus p into alpha plus q is equal to 0. Okay, in second equation, x is replaced by alpha in the second equation. That means alpha square plus p dash alpha plus q dash equal to 0. Alpha square plus p dash alpha plus q dash equal to 0. Okay, now here there are two equations with the two unknowns, alpha and alpha square. Here alpha and alpha square are the two equations with the two unknowns. We want to solve by using elimination method, which means here plus alpha square. By changing sign going to cancel. So second equation change its sign, plus change to minus, plus change to minus, plus change to minus. That is plus alpha square minus alpha square cancel. Here alpha is common. That means here alpha coefficient is where alpha is common, alpha into p minus p dash, which is equal, that is plus, the first one is q, first term q, so q minus q dash bracket, which is equal to 0. Now alpha into p minus p dash, now minus q dash goes to right, becomes plus, that means which is equal to q dash minus q, plus q goes to right, minus q. Okay, now this bracket going to right becomes divided. That means alpha is equal to q dash minus q divided by p minus p dash. Okay, now compare with the available answer and the required answer. Here available answer q dash minus q, but required answer is q minus q dash. Come to denominator, p minus p dash available, but p dash minus p wanted. So that is why both numerator and denominator, that means numerator interchange and denominator interchange means one minus comes outside commonly, minus cancel. Otherwise both numerator and denominator multiply by minus 1, the value will not change. Listen, numerator multiply by minus 1 and the denominator multiply by minus 1, the value will not change. Okay, now alpha is equal to minus into minus plus q. Okay, first time plus q ready, minus into q dash minus q dash is required answer. Okay, divided by minus into minus plus p dash minus into p minus p, so which is the required answer alpha. So the first answer, verify the first answer, alpha is equal to q minus q dash divided by p dash minus p. Okay, first one is ready. There are two variables alpha and alpha square, where first case alpha square cancel. Now I want to cancel alpha. Okay, how to cancel alpha means, to cancelling alpha, the technique is first equation is multiplied by p dash and second equation is multiplied by p, then alpha coefficients become same, second equation changes sign, so going to cancel alpha. So draw the parallel line. Listen, now take the first equation is alpha square plus p into alpha plus q is equal to 0, first equation. Second equation alpha square plus p dash alpha plus q dash is equal to 0, second equation. The technique, first equation multiply with the p dash, that is into p dash, and second equation multiply by p, so into p. Okay, now p dash is going to multiply all the elements, that means p dash into alpha square plus p dash into alpha and plus p dash q, which is equal to 0. Okay, similarly second equation is multiplied by p, that is multiplying all the elements, p into alpha square, p alpha square plus p dash alpha plus pq dash is equal to 0. Now second equation change sign, plus change to minus, plus change to minus, plus change to minus, long line. Now center, p dash alpha positive and minus p dash alpha negative, so plus and minus cancel. Here first one, alpha square common, alpha square into p dash minus p. Okay, here plus p dash q minus plus into minus minus, so minus p q dash, which is equal to 0. Now alpha square into p dash minus p is equal to minus goes to right, becomes plus, that means p minus q dash minus the plus goes to right, it becomes minus, so p dash into q. Okay, now this bracket goes to right, becomes divided, that means alpha square is equal to pq dash minus p dash q divided by p dash minus p. And now the technique is here alpha square, already alpha answer is available. Now here alpha square means alpha into alpha, so keep first alpha as it is, and for second alpha substitute this before answer, which means alpha square equal to alpha into alpha. So alpha into next alpha, where the second alpha is equal to substitute the first answer. The first answer is q minus q dash divided by p dash minus p, which is equal to p minus q dash minus p dash q divided by p dash minus p. See, consider the denominator, p dash minus p, p dash minus p, that is denominator to denominator cancel, and the numerator goes to right, it becomes divide, that is alpha is equal to long divide p q dash minus p dash q divided by q minus q dash. Okay, verify your answer. The answer is, first answer is p q dash minus p dash q divided by q minus q dash. So alpha is equal to first answer or the second one. This it is the second answer, q minus q dash divided by p dash minus p. Okay, again verify. So alpha must be p q dash minus p dash q divided by q minus q dash, or q minus q dash divided by p dash minus p. So the required answer is completed. Students, listen, the second question is, if p and q are the roots of the equation lx square plus nx plus n equal to 0, then show that square root of p by q plus square root of q by p plus square root of n by l is equal to 0. Here it is a prove that question. If p and q are the roots of the quadratic equation lx square plus nx plus q is equal to 0, then show that. Here there are three terms are there. Consider the first two terms. What is the difference between the first two terms? First term p by q, second term q by p, that is reciprocal. So the second term is the reciprocal of first one. First term and the second term are reciprocal to each other. So that is why consider first two elements, and the square root belongs to both the numerator and the denominator, split the square root. That means root p divided by root q plus root q divided by root p. The third element is fixed. Then cross multiplying, root p into root p is equal to p, and root q into root q is equal to root cancel, that is q. Then we are going to get answer. And also, where if is a condition, what is the condition important? If p and q are the roots of the quadratic equation. So yesterday we learned that alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation. Instead of alpha beta, there exist p and q. So the same idea as it is in yesterday questions. Now solution. Since p and q are the roots of the equation, since p and q are the roots of the equation lx square plus nx plus n is equal to 0. Okay, now where see If alpha and beta are the roots of the equation, then sum of the roots alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. Product of the roots alpha beta is equal to c by a. Likewise, instead of alpha beta, there exists p and q. It is the same idea, only the variables only differs. Okay, now listen, here p and q are the roots. Therefore, sum of the roots p plus q is equal to sum of the roots plus that is p plus q is equal to minus b by a. That means here where ax square plus bx plus c, where a equal to l, b is equal to n, and c is equal to n. So sum of the roots p plus q is equal to minus b by a, which means minus n by l. That is minus into plus minus n by l. So the first answer. Again, sum of the roots p plus q is equal to minus b by a. That is minus into plus minus n by l. Next, product of the roots p into q. That is pq. PQ is equal to C by A. Here minus after plus. So C by A. C by A means N by L. Here plus into plus plus. So N by L. Which is second answer. So introduction is completed. Again, P and Q are the roots of the quadratic equation. Therefore, sum of the roots is equal to minus B by A. Product of the roots P into Q is equal to C by A. Okay, introduction is completed. Now draw the line. Now we want to prove this answer. To prove this answer, let us take LHS of the answer. Now listen. Take LHS of the question. That is square root of P by Q plus square root of Q by P plus square root of N by L, which is equal to. Okay. Here, consider first two terms like terms. That is, first term and the second term are reciprocal to each other. Already I told you this square root belongs to both the numerator and the denominator. We want to split it. That is square root of p divided by square root of q plus square root of q divided by square root of p. Okay. So for our convenience, moon bracket plus third element is fixed. Square root of n by l. Okay. Now consider numerator of first and denominator of second, or root p. That is same like terms. Therefore, by cross multiplying, we get root p into root p is equal to p. While multiplying, root cancel. That is p plus root q into root q is equal to q divided by here denominator into denominator. That is root p into root q is equal to square root of the length, that is square root of p into q. This root becomes common. So square root of p into q. If a doubt means the square root belongs to both p and q, by splitting we get a root p into root q. That's the idea. Okay. Next, which is equal to, now by the condition p plus q, where p plus q is the sum of the roots. Sum of the roots p plus q equal to minus n by l from the beginning. So minus n by l. Numerator is minus n by l. Denominator is square root of p into q. Here denominator is square root of p into q means that is square root fixed, and pq is nothing but the product of the roots. Product of the roots equal to n by l. So where this pq is equal to n by l plus of this third term fixed as it is. So the first two terms simplification, write the third term as it is square root of n by l, and here also square root of n by l. Okay. So third term as it is, we are simplifying first two terms. Okay. Which is equal to by cross multiply. Say this time multiplying cross multiply means square root of n by l and square root of n by l. By cross multiplying root to root cancel. That means long divide. In numerator already minus n by l first term, and by cross multiplication square root cancel, so plus n by l moon bracket divided by here denominator is 1 understood, 1 into denominator, that means square root of n by l, square root of n by l as it is. Now listen, plus n by l positive, minus n by l negative, so positive and negative cancel, so numerator becomes 0, numerator equal to 0, denominator as it is, that is square root of n by l. Okay, square root of n by l, which is equal to 0 by any number equal to 0. So which is equal to 0. What is 0? This LHS is equal to 0. So take your LHS. LHS is given by square root of p by q plus square root of its reciprocal, that is q by p plus square root of n by L, which is equal to 0. So hence proved. Children, listen. In exercise, first sum from first exercise, if the sides of a cubic box are increased by 1, 2, 3 units respectively to form a cuboid, then the volume is increased by 52 cubic units. Find the volume of the cuboid. Listen again. If the sides of a cubic box are increased by 1, 2, 3 units respectively to form a cuboid, then the volume is increased by 52 cubic units. Find the volume of the cuboid. So initially given a cube, and by increasing its sides we get a cuboid, and the final question we are asked to find a volume of the cuboid. See, listen here, the question is talking about volume. We know that volume of the cube is equal to a cube, and the volume of the cuboid is equal to LBH. So that is a preparation. So for initial case, first one is given cube. So first let us draw a cube. Listen, to draw a cube we have the technique. First draw a square and the middle one point. Draw another one square above it with the equal size. Now join the edges. So which is a cube? Okay. Here let x be the length of the side of the cube. That means say length is equal to x and the breadth equal to x and height also equal to x. Okay, which is cube. And we know that volume of the cube is equal to x cube. That is cubic units. Volume V is equal to volume of the cube is equal to x cube cubic units. It is a rough idea. Now this sides of the cube is increased by 1, 2, 3, which means say listen here, length is increased by 1 unit and breadth is increased by 2 units and height is increased by 3 units. Now we get a cuboid. To draw a cuboid we have the shortcut. So to draw a cube, draw the square and middle one point above one square, join the edges, we get a cube. Likewise, to draw the cuboid we have the technique. First draw a square. First draw a rectangle. For cube draw a square. For cuboid draw a rectangle. And above it draw another one rectangle in equal in size. Okay. Now join the edges, which is a cuboid. Okay. Now here listen, length is increased by 1 unit, which means x plus 1, and breadth is increased by 2 units. Okay. So breadth becomes x plus 2, and the height is increased by suppose 3 units, which is x plus 3. That's all. And we know that volume of the cuboid is equal to LBH, which means volume of the cuboid is equal to L, that is length into breadth into height. So which is idea. Okay, again come to the question. If the sides of the cubic box are increased by 1, 2, 3 units respectively to form a cuboid, then the volume is increased by 52 cubic units. So the volume of the cube is increased by 52 units to become a cuboid. So that is a concept. Now let x be the length of the square base. Listen, let x be the length of the square base. Let x be the length of the square base. Now, say as per the data, listen, as per the data, we have, that is volume of the cuboid L into B into H is equal to volume of the cube plus volume of the cube is increased by 52 units, which means say L into B into H. So length into breadth is x plus 2 into height is equal to L, x plus 3. That is volume of the cuboid LBH is equal to volume of the cube is increased by 52 units. That is x cube plus 52. Okay, x cube plus 52. That's all. Now just a simplification. Simplification is given by x plus 1 fixed into multiplying the last two. That is x into x square plus x into 3. So 3x plus 2 into x, 2x plus 2 3s are 6, which is equal to x cube plus 52. Now just a algebraic multiplication. That's all. Listen, first complete the bracket. 3x plus 2x or like terms, so which is equal to 5x. That is x plus 1 into x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to x cube plus 52. Okay. Now this x is going to multiply all the elements, then 1 is going to multiply all the elements. Now listen, x into x cube plus x into 5x plus 5x square, x into 6 plus 6x, then 1 into anything the same. That means 1 into x square, so plus x square, 1 into 5x plus 5x, 1 into 6 plus 6, which is equal to x cube plus 52. Okay. Now identify the like terms. Here suppose plus x cube going to right becomes minus x cube. So minus x cube and plus x cube cancel. For our knowledge we can cancel directly. That is, listen the technique. X cube goes to right becomes negative. So minus x cube plus x cube going to cancel. For our knowledge we can cancel directly. Okay. Now identify the like terms. 5x square plus 1x square, which is equal to 6x square. Next, say 6x plus 5x, which is equal to 11x. So plus 11x. So x square times over, x times over. Next it remains a constant term only. Here plus 6 constant and plus 52. Suppose plus 52 comes left side, becomes minus 52. So minus 52 plus 6, which is equal to minus 42. Minus 46, which is equal to 0. Because a big number becomes negative, so that is why 46 gets a negative answer. Now it is a quadratic equation in x variable. Listen, x square term, x term constant, which is a quadratic equation in x variable. So it has two solutions, two roots. That is, now I want to use by solving quadratic equation, x square coefficient into x constant term. X square coefficient into the constant term, which means 46 into 6. Listen the rough work. 46 into 6 divided, that is 6 6 are 36, remainder 3. 4 6 are 24. 24 plus 3 is equal to 27. And plus into minus, minus. So that is minus 276 is answer. Minus 276. Listen, by factorization, while multiplying plus into minus, minus, and 6 into 46 is equal to 276. While multiplying we need minus 276, and here x coefficient is 11. While adding, see, we want to frame the two factors such that whose multiplication is minus 276 and whose addition or subtraction answer must be 11. Now to identify the factors, again do the rough work. The rough work is take 276, do L divide, because ending with 6, which is even number, divided by 2. That means 1 2 is 2. Listen, 1 2 is 2. And 7 means 3 2s are 6, remainder 1. 8 2s are 16. Okay. Now again ending with 8, which is even number, divisible by 2. That is 13. Consider 13. 6 2s are 12, and remainder 1. 18. 9 2s are 18. Now ending with 9, which is not even number, so it comes under third table. Third table means 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9. Now 23 is prime number. We can't do next divide. So now consider, for our convenience, take these three one group and 23 alone one group, and which is 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12. So 12 into 23. Verification. While multiplying we need minus 276, while add or subtract we need a plus 11. So that is why here 12 into 23 is equal to 276 clear, but I need a negative, and for our convenience suppose minus 12. Now verification, minus into plus minus 276, okay, and while subtracting 23 minus 12 equal to plus 11, because 23 big number and it's before sign plus 11. Okay, that is verification is correct. And also here x square coefficient 1 means divided by 1 divided by 1, but here x square coefficient is 6, so that is why divided by 6 comma divided by 6, which means 1666 2 6 are 12. That means minus 2 comma here 23 by 6 fixed. Okay, now minus 2 one factor and 23 by 6 is next one. Now listen, minus 2 means here x is a variable, and minus 2 means x minus 2 is a factor, into here plus 23 by 6, which means x plus 23 by 6 is equal to, that is one factor, which is equal to 0. Now product of the two factors is equal to 0, which means either first one equal to 0 or the second one equal to 0. That is minus 2 goes to right becomes plus 2, and plus goes to right minus. That is x is equal to 2 comma minus 23 by 6. Now x square x a constant equal to 0, which is a quadratic equation, and it has two roots. The two roots are 2 and minus 23 by 6. But where x is the length of the side of the cubic box, cube, that is a cube. So length never be negative. Here x is equal to plus 2 is possible, but length of the side of the cube is equal to minus 23 by 6 is not possible. Therefore length never be negative. Therefore x should be equal to 2. That's all. And x is equal to minus 23 by 6 is not possible. X equal to minus 23 by 6 is not possible because length never be negative. So it's not possible. Okay. Now x equal to 2. Now listen, come to the question. We are asked to find the volume of the cube. Volume of the cube is equal to say volume of the cube equal to x cube, and volume of the cube is increased by 52, and we are asked to find the volume of the cuboid. So volume of the cuboid is equal to x cube plus 52. So it is enough to find x cube plus 52. Now listen. Therefore volume of the cuboid. Volume of the cuboid. Volume of the cuboid is equal to x cube plus 52, because volume of the cube x cube, and it is increased by 52 to becomes which becomes a cuboid. Okay. Now which is equal to x, where x is equal to 2. So 2 the whole cube plus 52. Okay, which is equal to, we know that 2 cube equal to 8. So 8 plus 52. 8 plus 52 is equal to 60. So 60 cubic units. Because it is a volume, so that is why cubic units. So the left hand side as it is. Therefore, volume of the cuboid. Volume of the cuboid is equal to 60 cubic units.